Well, here it comes.
It's that 4FM road, yeah, we ride real slow. Texas bass hitting while the Carolina flow. From the whistles to the winds, every tale they record. Adam and Jack hold it down on 4th and Ward. Southside swing with the coach and Lord. Real life stories, yeah, they back for more. Turn the beat up loud, let the truth restore. You locked in now with the 4th and Ward.
So how bad was the grass growing up when you got back from the honeymoon? The grass itself wasn't too bad, but I don't know if you remember the story of when I had football or whatever, we had meetings, and my now wife tried to mow the grass and
No, I
put
never heard
oil.
this.
Lord have mercy. All right, so the grass was getting a little tall. Okay, it was in the fall, towards the beginning, I think, so it was still growing pretty well here. The grass was tall. I'll give her that. Okay.
You use a push mower, right?
Yeah, small.
Okay.
Yeah, the yard's not. Yeah, just push it. I got a nice Toro recycler. I got the black one. It's like top of the line Toro push mower. Love it.
Auto? Is it autopilot or whatever?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I used to have a battery Craftsman. It was terrible. It couldn't even cut the grass. But this one has never have to change the oil. Don't know if I believe that, but I just got it. Okay, it's like $700 mower. And she was getting on me about the grass. It was high. I don't blame her for that. And I had told her, I guess throughout the week, that I'll cut it when I get home. I'll cut it when I get home. And it just never happened. Well, we Sunday came around and we had a meeting. I told her I'd cut it when I get back from my meeting. And she didn't like that. So she took it upon herself to cut it. And it needed gas, I guess. She couldn't get it to crank. And she mistakenly put gas in the oil tank. And she said she got it to crank a couple times, but it wouldn't like run.
Right.
And credit to her, I'll be honest, she realized it and changed the oil on the thing. Like went and bought the oil, dumped the old out, put the new in. And since then, it's been a little funky. It's, every time you crank it, there's just a plume of white smoke that comes out around the neighborhood. But it was working, whatever. Well, last time I was mowing before we left, and part of this is on me too, the air filter I needed to change because in our backyard it's pretty dirt. There's a patch of dirt, no grass will grow because it's so shaded. And the weeds will come up and I'll just run through it. And I think I was mulching leaves that had fallen. And so it's just dust. That thing's just sucking in dust. And I'm like, crap, I should probably, change that air filter. And because it died on me last time I was mowing. And it sounded like it got choked out. So I popped that thing off and looked at the air filter. Dude, it had like solid brown. It had caved in. Like I couldn't even whatever. So I ordered a new filter. Thinking that has to be it because, it was awful. And swapped it out. So today I go to mow and I get one strip done on the yard and chokes out on me. So now I'll probably have to, I thought maybe the spark plug got, the air filter was clogged for so long that I think some stuff got in the carburetor and I'm going to have to clean the carburetor and this whole thing or whatever. But yeah, I got one strip done. It was hot. I was getting bit by mosquitoes and trying to tinker around with that. And I can't even find my spark plug socket because I couldn't even change my spark plug. And my impact socket sets at the field house, so I have to get it before I can change, take the carburetor off, clean it, and it's the whole thing. But luckily, I've been watching this small engine repair guy on Facebook and Instagram Reels. And so I actually kind of know what I'm doing a little bit. But yeah, it's to be continued. I couldn't even get far on it today, so I'll have to pick that back up tomorrow. And the grass is still high, so not great.
Welcome back to America, man.
Yeah.
The honeymoon's over.
The honeymoon is over. I wish I was back in Punta Cana because it was nice. It was a nice break after the wedding and, all
that stuff.
8 million projects I have going on all the time. And just
You
to
gotta
get
be
away and kind of
you gotta be
unplug.
careful
But
with that heat out there too, dude. Like when you get to messing around with stuff, like it's starting to turn up a little bit out there. I don't know. I guess it's a little, I guess it's the same for you guys, but like we always got the thing. We talk about Texas heat, right? They always talk about, oh, it's a dry heat, and coming from South Carolina, it might be
moist,
85 or 90, but it is like 80, 90% humidity, and so like hot's hot. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just starting to get to those dog days where you got to like really prepare for just how bad the heat's getting. Do you got any like tools of the trade, like stuff you picked up on from just getting the athletes ready and stuff?
hydrate, hydrate, hydrate,
Hydrate, yeah.
water, not 8 Gatorades the day before. Like, it's okay to have a Gatorade post-workout, okay, but you don't need 8 of them. Get your electrolytes all out of balance because you need water primarily. But that hydration starts early, like
Yeah.
2 days before you need to be drinking water. And, there's that whole, I remember when we were in school, our trainer made us weigh in, weigh out after practice, and you had to replace, the weight you lost with water by the next day and all that kind of stuff. But it does get dicey, man. It's water. And then you ever had those, what are they called? Like the bandanas.
The cold rags.
Like
where you
Frog
soak 'em.
Togs? Is that like a brand
I
maybe?
always had the off brand, but I know what you're talking about. Like you get the rag cold or whatever, and it
Dude,
stays cold somehow.
When I was in college and we had summer camp, and like there ain't no heat warning, and like there ain't no we're cutting practice, no shoulder pads because it's too hot in college. And they started doing that now in high school, but one year I remember they actually brought a shipping container. So we used to practice on Jervy Meadows for like a few weeks right at the start of camp or right at the end of camp, one of the two, to kind of get the practice fields, recovered enough for the season. They would bring out a shipping container that was literally just a big freezer.
And you just piled up in that?
And so there was a break in practice where everyone went in that sea container and like drank a little electrolyte pop for like however long and then went back out to practice. Dude, when I tell you, setting up the field before practice, I was burning hot. We'd finish. We had a little break before practice. I'd take my tail right in that little shipping container and just be on my phone, chilling out, like frigid.
Just get iced down real quick?
Yeah. Oh, it's the best, man. It was the best.
Golly, that sounds really nice. We had, usually my go-to is about this time of the year. I go to the grocery store and I get the gallon jug of water, right? And I like I'm kind of bougie now, right? I like the ones where I can screw the lid back on. Back in the day, it was like a milk jug.
Yeah.
Where you just pop the lid off, you pop it back on, and you just carry around the schoolhouse all day. So that was the go-to because like everybody always preached like you drink a gallon of water a day, all that kind of stuff. But as you get older, I don't want to just randomly spill a gallon of water in the hallway, like when I'm going up to my classroom or something like that. And Arthur is chiming in the chat right here. Dude, pickle juice. Dude, I hammer pickle juice all the time too. I'll sit there.
Ooh.
So what I like to do, this is my cocktail I like to make. All right. I drink about a quarter to a half of the gallon jug. And then I'll have like a separate gallon jug of pickle juice and I'll pour some of that in. And then if I'm feeling really bougie, I'll sit there and I'll like throw in the liquid IV or something like that on top of it just to give it a little flavor and stuff to go along with the pickle juice. But it just makes it like really tangy Gatorade. So, that's like my poor man's like just gallon jug. And I'll just sit there and I'll hammer that all day, like throughout the teaching day. Cause we practice in the afternoons with our varsity guys, but then we do morning practice with the freshmen. So like, throughout the entire football season, we're 2 practices a day, right? So you got to like do whatever you can to rehydrate from the morning practice because it's still hot in the morning. Get your mind right, get your body right so that you can still function in the afternoon or else you'll fall out. When it gets to like 120 out there, it gets
it gets dicey. Did I ever show you I call them piss charts, but hydration charts that I made for like us to have around the school?
I remember seeing one like in Clemson. It was like Clemson branding, and it would have like the colors. Of course, we had them when I was in college too, right there beside like every urinal. You would have like the P chart or whatever.
Here. Yeah. So this is it was basically one that was from Clemson that I kind of remodeled it in our theme. And let me tell you, if you're ever seeing this color down here, can you see this on my screen?
I've never seen that in my life. I will say, I've seen a 5 before, but usually
I've seen
because
a
I've
5.
been taking my vitamins.
Yeah.
And like when you go to the bathroom after you take those multivitamins or whatever, it's like glow in the dark. Like it scares
And
you a little bit.
yeah, and what sucks is that the water soluble vitamins, you're basically just pissing them out, which sucks. It's like not a
Yeah.
waste, but you know what I mean. But this one was what I wanted to get to. We have this posted to every water fountain around our facilities. I have it in the gym, everywhere. Because kids don't realize how much water you're supposed to be drinking. They drink like an Alani and a
And
Mountain Dew,
yeah.
and they think they're good. Like, no,
Not
no,
a
no, no,
Mountain
no.
Dew.
So, like, if you're built like me, you're in that 250-pound body weight, you need a minimum, this is like minimum, 75 ounces of water. And that, you could do more, honestly, but if you're working out and stuff. That is, what does that say, 7.8 bottles of water? So you need like 8 bottles of water at least.
That's
just
bare
to like
minimum.
maintain. But yeah,
I
no,
just remember like when you talk about weighing in before and after practice, like I remember those fall camps in college, like it was nothing to see a dude lose like 9 pounds in a practice. Like come back in, you get showered up, you go to the training room to weigh out or whatever, and you're like 7 pounds less, and you're just like, oh my God. So then
Yeah.
like you go to the dining hall and you're just hammering as much water as you can. Of course, we had like Gatorade, like I don't know, the drink machines, like the fountain drinks. We had one of those in our locker room, you know, and it was filled with all the Gatorade syrups and stuff like that. So like we would hammer those too before we left the locker room. Then like you get to that dining hall and you're just housing like water and milk. I used to kill milk. Chocolate milk, they say, is pretty good for hydration too.
Yeah. I still crush milk, dude. Every day at school lunch, that chocolate milk hits, man.
Let's see. Oh, we got a couple people popping up in the chat here. Okay. So before we go any further, a good question we got here. Oh, we got some people chiming in now. Arthur asked about the pickle juice. Okay. Eddie, I think I answered your question. He says, new to y'all's content. Are y'all from Texas or South Carolina? He sees the Palmetto logo in the background. And if from South Carolina, how did one of you end up in Texas? Okay. So Jack still coaches in South Carolina. We're both from there originally. The upstate, the 864. Jack's still holding it down for us out there. But
Actually,
I moved
at
to Texas.
Palmetto, yeah.
Yeah, he's at Palmetto, our alma mater where we went to high school. I moved to Texas in 2020, like in the midst of all the COVID stuff. I moved to Texas to get out here, see what Texas high school football is all about. So, Eddie, appreciate the question there. And for any of the other folks, if we're kind of missing some questions, they pop in the chat right here. We do have our text line that I will pull up here if I can figure out how to make all this stuff work.
Sorry, I just read Eddie chime back in.
Yeah.
He said, dude, at our high school, we have a dude chugging rain before they start weights and they do outdoor practice in 100 degrees.
Rain, the energy drink?
Yeah.
No.
He says, dog, you're 15. Your heart doesn't need help like that 2 hours before intense practice in the heat. That's the truth, man. These kids don't know tired. You don't need no rain. You got the most energy in your life right now.
Dude, I've been on a bad kick, all right? So I used to do, like, I was heavy in the pre-workout, right? I would get my pre-workout, and then, like, it got to where my body just needed it to function as soon as I wake up, and I was like, this has got to be a problem. And so I detoxed off that, and I would just get on, like, I would get on caffeine pills for a while, like, because you could buy, like,
You were down bad.
You could buy, like, a 6-month supply of caffeine pills for, like, $10 on this one, like,
How
random
old were
website
you?
I found. I mean, late 20s.
This was recent?
This was in the last few years, yeah.
Man, the caffeine
So I would just
pills.
I would just take one of those in the morning and I'd be good to go, right? And then like over the years, I kind of eased off of it. But here in the last, like probably towards the tail end of school, I got on some like energy drinks again. I got to get back off of it, dude, because it's getting to that point again where I just wake up and it's like your body's just, it's like you got the shakes. Your
I'm
body
telling
just
you.
needs it. Rain is crazy though before practice.
The rain is crazy. V8 energy is where it's at. I'm telling you, it's just
like
enough
V8
caffeine, but not too much to where you're gonna get like shaky. But over the honeymoon, dude, so at the resort we were at, we had a little fridge, okay, and they would restock it every day, and it had like 2 bottles of like glass Coke, 2 Sprites, and then some beers, whatever, and like orange juice, like random collection. But they restocked it every morning. I woke up. It was like the old school Coke bottles. I think it was Mexican
Okay.
Coke.
The glass ones?
I popped the top, walked out on my balcony, and drank a full Coke Heavy every morning we were out there.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, when I got like back and I didn't have one when I first started the day, like I felt it. Like I didn't have the sugar like high. I didn't have
Well,
any
yeah,
of
that's
it.
like 50 grams of sugar at least as
So
soon as you
much.
wake up.
So good though.
Did I ever tell you the story about when we got our first house before we moved out here? But when we got our first house, and you visited plenty of times back when we lived there, but I mean, it was an older house. You know what I'm saying? It was like they flipped a little house, and it was our first home, so it was cheap. We got it, whatever. And like within a month, the AC unit went out. Do you remember that? Those were some dark days. So then we're sitting there in the heat of August, like football's just getting going. I'm gone all day. Wife and the kids are at the house. But dude, it got to like 90 something degrees in the house. Like
Yeah.
it was just stupid. And I don't think like we couldn't even stay in there. It got to a point where it was just that bad. But I mean, it gave me greater appreciation for air conditioning and just like making sure. So I don't know if you do this, Jack, but like every spring before it starts getting really turned up with the heat, like I have somebody come out and just like do the whole tune up deal.
Yeah.
Make sure that thing is just primed and ready to go. Cause I just know like about July, August, September, like it gets ridiculous. And I'm not trying to have that happen again. I don't know. I got
Well,
PTSD from it or something.
It's funny you say that because that literally happened when we bought our first house and the AC went out, and literally late summer. And I remember I went and bought a window unit. I said, I ain't doing this. Like we're going to lock down in the bedroom, put a window unit in, and we're going to survive. Cause I mean, we had a dude come out and quote us 20 grand for a new unit. I'm like, dude, this house, this is not no mansion. Like we don't need no $20,000. Anyway, we ended up getting one from a guy that actually went to Palmetto and, hooked it up. But no, dude, it got real hot. I knew it was hot when the dog was sitting there in the corner, just in the bedroom, inside. I'm like, God, we about to die in here. Like, we're going to be on the 10 o'clock news tonight. Just family dies in the heat in the house. It was awful.
Yeah. Public service announcement, guys. Make sure your AC units get tuned up before it gets extremely hot out there. You said it was a shipping container they used to have?
Yeah.
Like ice down at Clemson?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. Do you remember working the concessions at Clemson for the football games when we're trying to make some money for the student government? So do you remember?
We made some money now.
We did make some money. Do you remember old buddy and for the folks that so we were big into like student government when we were in high school. And, we played football. So like Friday nights, we're out late banging up our bodies, doing all that. Turn right around. We had to be up at like 5, Jack? We had to be at Clemson.
It was so early. We were walking through campus at 6 a.m.
It was ridiculous. And so we're working the concession stands. Okay. And we weren't running like a specific stand, but we had to we were in the upper deck. We had to make sure like people were, fully stocked on hot dogs, and we had to do all the inventory. And
it was
weird
like
that
managers of the concession stand in the upper deck. I'm like, dude, I'm 16, 15 years old. You trust me with this?
Yeah, you're sitting there reading that this stand did like 12 grand, just today selling hot dogs and pretzels. But yeah, that's a whole other side note. Like the fact that they let 17-year-olds do this. Anyway, but do you remember like those first few games? I think Clemson was playing Auburn early that year at home. And I just remember it was so hot. The upper deck at Clemson, you're like, you could reach your hand out, touch the sun. And people are just falling out, like carts are getting drug in to drag people off and stuff. And we're sitting there, somebody's sitting there trying to get more Dippin' Dots or something. One of the people running the Dippin' Dot stand is freaking out. They ain't got any Dippin' Dots, blah, blah. So I'm sitting there like trying to text our buddy, like, where is he at? He's supposed to be getting these Dippin' Dots. So I finally decide, like, I'm going to the freezer myself. I'm going to go get the Dippin' Dots. So if we went to that one giant commercial freezer that they had in the upper deck, I opened the door and this dude is asleep in the freezer.
I don't blame him.
Laid out on some soda bottles or something like that, just passed.
I don't blame him, dude. Every time somebody needed a restock on Dippin' Dots, I was like rushing to do it for him just because I could go sit in that freezer for like 5 minutes.
Dude, anything to get this cold. Oh, a cold shower after practice. Those always hit different. Oh,
yeah, the kids don't even shower anymore after practice.
That's disgusting. I turned that shower as cold as possible. I'll cold tub if it ain't like crowded or whatever, like if all the kids are gone and stuff, I'm still there working, but I hadn't showered off yet or whatever, I'll go jump in that thing myself. Anything just to get cooled
Like
off, like hit that
we had
reset button.
even in the fall, like we have practice, and let's say there's a volleyball game at home, and some of our guys are going there after practice. We have showers at the field house. I used them. They're the same showers. They're fine. They have curtains. They're nice compared. I've seen some rough showers in high schools, and they go straight to a volleyball game after practice. They put the clothes they wore to school back on, just soaked down, stanking. I'm like, y'all could have just quick shower, and you're good as new. You go home from that volleyball game, go to sleep. But no, you're gonna stank in the bleachers in front of all these people in public. Y'all just nasty. Like they're so. Oh,
We can switch gears now. Enough talking about the heat. I already know it's going to be here before you know it. Arthur dropped a great question. Arthur, same guy brought it, the pickle juice. I'll pull it up here, see if the folks can see it. So Arthur says he's an aspiring coach in Ohio, but he had 2 terrible experiences. Do you have any advice to move to where you are in your career and stay mentally positive? So some bad experiences. How do you get to a place where you're in a good spot mentally? Yeah, you got any thoughts on that, Jack?
can you pull the thing back up? It popped up, but I can't see it anymore.
But yeah, I don't know how to make it stay longer, but
It's to move. I mean, you got to find a place that suits you. And if it's not suiting you, you got to take care of yourself. Number one, you and your family come first. Even if it's, in a fantastic program, but you're miserable, it's not worth being miserable. You've got to find, I know it's hard to find a place that I've been very fortunate in the people I work with, the community I work with. It's very positive, but you got to take care of yourself. And if that means moving, I mean, I hate you've already had 2 bad experiences, but yeah, you can't give up on it if it's really what you want to do. You just got to try to
yeah,
find that right fit for you.
yeah, I think that's the right spot. Like, I don't know. I feel like we both, I don't want to speak for you too much, but I feel like we both always been pretty glass half full, right?
Yeah.
Generally speaking. I mean, so I think some of that comes into play where I think it probably would have sucked in hindsight, but I think I could have been a garbage man, right? And found some joy, in whatever that job was. Some of them dudes look like they're jamming out on the headsets or something like that. So I don't know, maybe it is a good gig, but
I think the
I don't
benefits are pretty good.
I mean, it might be a government job, right? But I think it's just all about perspective. Now, I think Jack brings up a good point that, like, if it's like a toxic environment, like, I would never recommend you staying in a toxic environment, no matter how good they might be. I mean, you look around at just job boards around us, there's some like, high profile, you know, programs that are still needing assistant coaches because their turnover's so crazy because maybe the schoolhouse during the day is not a great place to teach, right? Maybe, yeah, they're really good on the football field, but maybe there's some headaches that kind of come along with it that's, the juice is just not worth the squeeze. So, I mean, just really finding a spot that you're happy and like, I know in our profession, like it's pretty popular to where some guys get a lot of hype for jumping the ladder, right? And they're bouncing from here to there, they're chasing titles, they're doing all this and that. But I think if you actually land somewhere that you are happy and content, yeah, there's nothing wrong with staying there until maybe it feels like it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you don't need to rush out of a good situation. And I feel like that's kind of me personally. I feel like that's a spot I'm in. Love where I work, love the community I work in, love love living there and all the connections we made, and it's good people, and got a great teaching job with great students, and yeah, I just really enjoy going to work every day. I mean, sure, it's a grind sometimes, but every job's a grind sometimes.
Yeah.
And, but I think at the end of the day, when I really sit back and think about it all, I'm like, I'm in a good spot. And so, yeah, it really kind of dissuades you from looking at what's next. And it's more about just being great where your feet are, which is, Jack, I think that's something you've said before when we've gotten some text with similar questions here. So, Arthur, hopefully that answers that question. I was trying to go back through the chat real quick to make sure I didn't forget anybody.
And I think Eddie, I just saw it in the chat. Eddie brings up a good point. build that relationship with your staff. I mean, if you enjoy being around the guys you're working with, that makes a world of difference, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
very true.
Yeah.
They're kind
But
of you're all going through the same thing at the same time. You can kind of talk about some things. They all understand the struggle is what I'm getting at. They all understand the
yeah.
time commitment, time away from family, that kind of stuff. So it's a group of people that they can really empathize with what you're going through, and you can kind of just share and talk, and that does make a world of difference.
Yeah, that's why it was so hard for me to leave my first job. I mean, I worked with, you know, coaches that used to be my coach. I worked with guys that were about my age. I mean, it was just a really good staff. It was in an area that was close to where I grew up in, so just a lot of connections. Really, felt like home. And so it really made it tough when that time came where, yeah, as I kind of laid out pros and cons and did all this and that, I made the decision to move to Texas. But that was tough because, like Jack's saying, I mean, it was a good spot to be in. We were having a lot of success on the football field, although I think they had a little bit more after I left. So maybe I was holding them back a little bit or something like that. But I mean, it was just a great spot. And I still, every time I go back to South Carolina, but when I went back for y'all's wedding and stuff last week, Jack, I mean, I made sure to take a morning where I got to get back over there and work out with some old buddies and catch up with some old guys I used to work with because I hold that spot near and dear. And not just because it was my first job, but because I got kind of spoiled. It was a really good first job. But yeah, I love where I'm at now too. So just thankfully the good Lord's kind of blessed me to just be enjoying this ride, and knock on wood, hopefully it keeps going for a while longer. But yeah, hopefully I answered that question there. Eddie, speaking of the wedding, Jack, I mean,
Mhm.
that was a good time. I had a grand old time.
Well, I
It
had a
was
fantastic time.
it, it was nice being on the other side of it. Like when I got married, I mean, I it was what you were going through, right? It's you got to be at this thing for these pictures, you got to have this ready, you got to have plans for this, that, and the other. I mean, but getting to go to yours, I just got to kind of chill out and I just got to vibe out in out there in Southport, North Carolina for all the festivities. But I mean, I forgot how long that drive is to get one from Texas to South Carolina, and then it's a solid little 4 hour and some change chunk to get to that part of North Carolina. But
Yeah.
we put some miles on the car, but we had a grand old time, dude. I was
It
jamming out
was
to Willie Nelson the whole ride there, just vibing out. That was my theme music for the whole week. So
and I mean, the weather was perfect. The temperature
yeah,
wasn't too hot. Now, I got a little hot during those pictures beforehand. My knees were sweating through my suit pants. That was
yeah,
rough. But it near the water, the breeze, and I mean, the bartenders were working overtime, I think, and it was a good time, and we appreciated everybody coming out there and celebrating with us. I loved having, my niece and nephews there as a part of it too. That meant a lot to me, and I think they had a good time. And you know, you and your wife there too, and just all the friends and family there. It was a great time. And I ain't gonna lie though, once it was over, I did get this sense of just relief of just
yeah,
I I can take a deep breath because the planning part, dude, I mean, you've been through it, and I'm sure a bunch of people have been through it, and my wife is pretty laid back compared to some people I know, but even still, the planning was a lot,
yeah.
but it worked out perfectly, and we had great planners, great vendors, everything, and shout out Blue Satin Bee in Southport, they're great, and it was a good time, great time. Honeymoon was even better though.
Dude, yeah, when you told me you were going in all inclusive, I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
man,
yeah. The room service was deadly, to
might
say
have
the
to do
least.
we might have to do some podcasts from an all inclusive at some point in the next year.
Yeah, yeah, we need to make that happen because
Little
I would yeah,
little business trip or something. Probably my favorite part of the whole deal was it even though it was somewhere like I mean, we've been going to that part of North Carolina to the beach and stuff, Oak Island and all that. We've been going there for 20 years now, right? But it felt like a destination wedding because I mean, everybody had to travel a little bit to get there, right? Some people travel a
yeah,
lot, some people travel a little, but it's still kind of so I think everybody just kind of brought that like vacation kind of vibes and just good
yeah,
vibes down. I
yeah,
mean, we got down there, I guess Tuesday night, and we're doing a little beach evening, do like a beach day. Or I'm losing track of the days. That Wednesday, I think we did a big beach day. I'll never forget. My kids are at the age where they can kind of just go, and that's what I like about Oak Island is like well, it used to have more, but you got plenty of space if you need it.
Yeah.
So kids are just out doing there catching crabs, doing all the things kids need to be doing. And I remember one of my kids finds this crab, hermit crab, in the sand or whatever, and he names it like Tommy or Timmy or something. I can't even remember. Well, fast forward, and we did that like welcome to town kind of dinner. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like just kind of cocktail hour, everybody getting to hang out, meet each other and stuff. And we were there we left at 9-ish is when the kids kind of hit their boiling points and all that. So like, all right, we'll walk back to the Airbnb. And as we're like going to leave there, my youngest is like, this was the best wedding ever. And I'm like, buddy, the wedding hadn't even happened yet.
It's
But
day one.
yeah, which was crazy because like 30 minutes before that, he finally decides he's hungry. So he goes and he fixed some of the snacks on his plate. And did you try like the little like crab? I mean, they were shaped like balls, like crab. I don't want to call them crab balls, but they
Like
were like crab
the
cakes.
crab cake meatball kind of thing, like
Yes,
shape
yes.
of a meatball. Crab
So
cake
I don't know
spheres.
I don't know what he thought they were, but he takes one bite. I'm sitting there holding the baby. He takes one bite. He's like, "Oh no, what's that? Like, I don't like that." Or he just sticks it out because Dad's the dumpster, right? I'm gonna eat anything. And the baby snatched it out of my hand and took a bite. He loved it. Well, I take a bite. I realize it's like crab, something or another. And so I couldn't help myself. I was like, buddy, you just ate Tommy right there. You know, you just caught him yesterday and they already got him fried up in a crab meatball or whatever. And dude, he was like losing it, crying or whatever. Then he went back to playing the rocks. And then he said it was the best wedding ever by the end of the night. So
And we still had, 2 more days to go. We still
heck
had
yeah.
the wedding, and then we had a after thing the next day. Let me tell you, dude, making it to the day after lunch, whatever you want to call that, I was in rough shape. I'm glad it was at the frying pan and it was some good greasy fried food because that's what I needed. I was hurting bad.
It's like those Waffle House trips in college. Like,
Yeah,
you just need it.
yeah.
2, 3 in the morning, you just need it. You need that whole all-star platter or whatever that makes
Dude,
sure you're taken care of.
It was a good time though. I finally got my bling.
Ooh.
I'm finally getting to rock it. I thought it would take some getting used to, but I forget it's there already. And I thought I lost it at one point. I actually thought I lost it during the wedding, but the photographer had asked for it to do like some picture with mine and her ring. And I walk up to my wife during the wedding and I'm like, I lost my ring. She goes, what are you talking? I'm like, I lost my ring.
I was so worried about getting them to the podium or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I had that little
yeah.
case, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, if like the lid fell off this and they roll in the cracks on like the little boards or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like I was shaking a little bit. Of course, I'm trying to get like, my son's up there and one of the bridesmaids up there and stuff, and I was
Yeah,
nervous. I was nervous.
I was nervous too, man. I told my wife, and when we were standing there, like, we're looking at each other and the officiant's talking through the whole thing. And she was like, I was worried about you for a second there because you were blinking really slow. And I was like, I was so locked in. I was looking through you. Like, I was, boom, like, the only thing on my mind was don't fall, smile, and just look. And so I was like, but we got through it. Didn't stutter on my whatever vowels or whatever. So yeah, it was,
Reception food was good.
oh, dude,
Dude, it was
again.
killer.
And I think we kind of hit the nail on the head. Like you said, it was kind of like a destination wedding,
Yeah.
but ish. And we went, just Southern staples. And, cause we had people coming from New England, California. We had some people from Germany that were invited, and I think Sweden or Norway or something, but just to give them a taste of the area. And it was great. That food, man, I tore it up.
Yeah.
And then the caterers gave us boxes to take back to the hotel. We got back from the after party, whatever you want to call it, after the wedding, at the old tiki, whatever.
Dude, that was a good time too, man.
That was like an improv kind of spur of the moment thing, but it was a great time. But we got back to the room after that. I tore up like probably 3 pounds of that food, just munching down. But it was good. We got a bunch of people chiming in.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're going to get caught up in the chat here in a second. Shoot, we can go ahead and do that now. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to start from what I see first, guys. So y'all throw in those questions. We'll try to get to them. All right, so Timothy here, he's chiming in. I'll try to get it put up here on the big screen. He says, do you think it's worth relocating from South Florida to Texas to coach? I've never coached in Florida. I can only say outside looking in, Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, you're a little closer to Florida now than I am. But from what I've gathered about Florida, is it's kind of the Wild West right now, like transferring and
I
I
think
think they
so.
just passed something to maybe try to make the coaching wages a little higher. So maybe they're trying to
Yeah.
fix some systemic issues.
And I think they also just passed something where I don't know how many teams it is, maybe 10, but they don't play in a division. Like, no matter their size, they're in like this other thing where it's like based on rankings, and they play. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like they're not in a classification like everybody else. They're in this whatever juggernaut league, whatever you want to call it.
So it's
And
for just like the highest
it's just like 10 teams or
performing.
something, I think, if I'm not
Huh.
mistaken. But
So it's,
other than that, I don't know anything about coaching in Florida
yeah, I
or
mean,
Texas.
I'm gonna be a little bit of a homer here, and I'll just lay out what I like about coaching in Texas. And so I'll just, Timothy, you can do with that information what you will and compare it to maybe your experience or whatever. But I like how in Texas, coaches have to be in the building. They have to be teachers. You get your entire coaching staff under one roof. You know, we got 16 guys, right? Those are now 16 guys that are also teachers. And, you know, they're seeing the players in the hallways and all. Like, I don't know. It just, to me, that makes it special, makes it kind of feel like you're all on the same page. Like we're all trying to move this ship together, not just for football, athletics, but also on the academic side, right? We're all pulling our different weights. We all work in different subject areas and things like that. So I really love that. I really love how the school day has your, you know, if you're on this coaching contract in your school day, it's built in that you get guaranteed time to work with your players. I think that's a really special thing. I know it's a growing thing in other states, but it's like a staple here is that your coaches are going to have those athletic periods. You're going to have that time to work with your guys every single day. And I don't know. I just think that's really special. And then Friday Night Lights, right? I mean, you're in some of these communities that live and breathe football, and everybody in town's at the game on Friday night. And I'm sure Florida's got that too in some spots, depending on where you're at. But it's like just like what the movies say. I mean, it's you having a good year, you don't mind wearing your team gear around town because you get patted on the back and stuff. Of course, on the flip side, if you're having a rough year, you're kind of just putting your hood up and you know you feel a little bit of that heat on your back. But I'll just lay out that that's why I like working in Texas. And it was one of the things that drew me was you know if you're in a good spot, you've got the facilities of college level programs. You've got yeah, you're a teacher, right? That's what you get hired to do first, but like it is your school day is set up to help you out athletically as well. Because I think people understand the importance of having kids just involved in school, and that
Mm-hmm.
when you have them involved and you have them committed to something, the academic side tends to take care of itself because now you got to hold them to standards, right? You got to be eligible. You got to be passing to be eligible. You got to have this many credits, right? So I don't know. That's my case for why Texas is great. But I've also never coached in Florida, so Timothy, I can't speak on what it's like there. Just from outside looking in, it kind of looks like the Wild West right now, with all the transfers and stuff happening with school choice and all, which that's a whole separate deal. But
Don't get me started.
yeah, don't get Jack started on like charter schools and all that kind of stuff. That's a sore subject for him. But hopefully that answers your question, Jack. I saw this from Jason in the chat too. We were talking about coaches building camaraderie and stuff. Jason in the chat says, as a staff, we spend more time together than we do with our families. We have to be more than just coworkers. Staff builders are very important. Retreats, hanging out while scouting, post-game pizza, no matter the result, they build strong bonds that go beyond coworkers. And that's, you know,
Nail on the head.
yeah, hit the nail on the head. It's one of my favorite parts about my first job, my current job, is that, I mean, some of the, one of the guys I work with, like his daughters help sell seasonings for us with gridiron events and things like that. Gridiron Spice, and we're all hanging out after kids camp or junior high camp. We're all going down to coaching school together. When I was in South Carolina, we were going to so and so's house on the weekend to grill steaks and talk about the game the night before and all this and that. I mean, you really can't beat that. You hit the nail on the head with that, Jason. That you spend a bunch of time with these guys. Like you got to be all a cohesive unit. You got to be your work family, right? But
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's a
really,
good
that's
one.
kind of how we started this whole thing, right? You
Yeah,
mentioned the coach's office after a game or whatever, where you're just kind of debriefing, and that's kind of how this thing started, and here we are.
yeah,
And I mean, that's the best part of it is just the camaraderie, and I mean, working with the kids and everything, helping them get to where they want to be, and just being that person that could challenge them. And a coach player relationship is a unique one. I mean, it's goes hand in hand with teaching, but I think it's a little more. I don't know. It's just different in coaching than it is. And working with kids is great. That's kind of everybody's priority. That's why we're there. We love working with children, helping them get to where they need to be. But the coaching camaraderie is like just you can't beat it, man. You can't beat it.
yeah. Oh, Eddie chimed in, same deal. He said he was replying to Jason, I guess. He says they do a coach's dinner on Wednesday nights with all the coaches' wives and the kids. They go to the head coach's house. It's a great way to spend some time with each other and talk ball while also including the families. Yeah. We do
That
some get-togethers too, and find somebody with a pool and let the kids turn loose. And
yeah, and that is. I mean, that's right out of when I was in college. Even at Clemson, Coach Sweeney did that. Wednesday night was family night, and everybody, even we went. They did. I think players would invite a professor or one of their
that's cool.
teachers to come to the dinner, and everybody ate in the West End zone. It was just a special thing every Wednesday night, and yeah, I mean that's even all the way up to those levels. They still do those kind of things. It's still important.
Joey checking in here. He says, love your videos. He's at Chapin High School, little South Carolina, little Midlands action. We were driving through on 26, right? 26 is what takes you through Columbia and all that. It's only been 6 years, but I've already forgotten. 385 connects to 26, right? You go through Columbia.
Sure,
Then you get on
I think
20
so.
to get, yeah, okay. It's all coming back to me now. But Chapin High School, D-line coach from
My
South Carolina.
man,
Appreciate you checking in there, Joey.
they just got what is it, Coach? He just came from Hillcrest. I think he went to Chapin. Swaggart. I don't know if I ever say his name right. Coach Swaggart. I think is what it is. I think he just went to Chapin from Hillcrest over near me. But anyway, D-line coach. He's after my own heart.
Yeah, that's Jack's forte right there. Jordan checking in here in the chat. We're live on at Coach Wardlaw Facebook, at Coach Wardlaw YouTube. I think we're supposed to be live on the Fourth and Ward Twitter page, but anyway.
We are. I just saw it.
But Jordan's checking in and says maybe you've answered before, but Adam, what took you out to Texas? He just got out of college ball. He's in high school now. He's in high school now in Alabama, where he's from, but Texas has been on his mind. Thoughts? So Jordan. It was middle of COVID, right? So everything shut down. I'd been at the house playing cornhole with myself, like taking the kids to the YMCA parking lot, like stir crazy in the midst of it all. And my wife's got some family that lives out here. My in-laws and stuff live out here and stuff. So it's not like it was totally a foreign move. So we kind of had those thoughts too, like get out there, like get them a little closer to them. I was obviously interested in the Texas high school football side of things. So there were a lot of things that were like pulling me to be looking at some spots out here. And I guess because it was in the middle of COVID, everybody was doing Zoom interviews, right? And so I get on this Zoom interview for a job, and then they realize, oh, I guess they realized beforehand that I was from South Carolina, but they realized because I didn't know I had an accent, they realized that I'm an out-of-stater trying to come in or whatever. So we go through the interview, it goes great. They offer me the job. And so then I had like that 24-hour window where, okay, we got to make a big life-changing decision here. And I just thought like, let's do it. Like, let's take a little jump right here. Let's go see what it's all about. And so I get out, taught at a middle school for a year, and I volunteered at the high school down the road, got in, built some good networking. Cause again, I'm starting from scratch, right? It's like I'm totally restarting my career. So just building a network again. Head coach gets let go. And I'm sitting there thinking like, oh boy, like I just, volunteered for a year. I've made all these great connections. Like we bought a house here, like all these things. And now it's like, what's going to happen now? But they hire on the new coach, and he had, I think, had heard some positive things about me again from the network I had been creating and stuff, trying to prove my worth. Uh, and then we had an interview. He hires me on there, and so it all wound up working out in the end. So Yeah, Jordan, that's kind of how I made my way out to Texas. It was a little bit of get closer to some family. It was a lot of, you know, I was coaching high school football in South Carolina, but all you hear about nationwide is Texas high school football is the mecca, right? And and so yeah, that's kind of what brought me out here. It's been a fun ride. I'm going into year 7 now, which is hard to believe, Texas, but
That is kind of crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't even realize that.
yeah. It's been flying by. Let's see. Timothy chimed in, says that he asked about Florida a minute ago, Jack. He says the transferring is out of hand for sure. They didn't raise the pay. And also the playoff system is the best 8 teams in the state based off the max preps ranking.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So if you're having like a stellar year, I'm assuming at the end of the year,
So that's
these
just
eight,
playoffs.
these 8 go into this other separate playoff, the Big
Okay.
8 playoff. Or that's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The max preps rankings, I feel like those can be gamified a little bit. I mean, I know
Yeah.
they're getting better maybe about figuring out strength of schedule and all that, but I'd be interested to see, Timothy, is this gonna be the first year for that this coming season? Yeah, I'm kinda interested. Let's see, I'm just trying to make sure we're all caught up. Andrew says, "Jack, you bringing some Texas facilities up this way, right?"
Hold on. I know who that is. Hey, I'm
I
trying,
got
man.
you.
I'm trying. We're working on it. We got some things in the works, okay?
Eddie in here says he coaches in a small town where 1A. He absolutely despises charter schools. You're
My man.
Jack's I grew up in a bigger city, so I didn't think much about charters, but now in a small community, I understand the danger that the charter schools have on the spirit of high school. I think that's what hits the nail on the head with me. Like, my whole thing is you're going to make a charter school, right? Where, I mean, in South Carolina, they've got how many charter schools now that are athletics based? And so if you go off the enrollment originally,
Sports and entertainment based.
yeah, exact. If you go off like they were doing the enrollment, well, the school's only
Yeah.
got 400 or 500 kids, but they're all
Yeah.
100 of them are going Division 1 in whatever their sport is, but whatever.
Yeah.
And so you would just see them just go through all these 1A, 2As and just like wreak havoc. And and then finally, I think they did a little multiplier, right, Jack? And so they're trying to
Yeah.
make them play up a little bit, but I mean, it's still
But
I don't know.
it also punishes, so like the 3x multiplier is what it was. Any kid that doesn't live in your zoned area counts as 3 against you for athletics. And that's whatever, that works, I guess, to some extent, but it also punishes some schools like us, a public school, where we house the a specific special education program for the district. And so any kid in the district that requires these specific needs has to come to us. And I think now there's another school that offers it, but still, those are kids that, for whatever reason, have to come to us regardless where they live. Those kids count 3 times against us. I'm like, there needs to be some, special circumstances that are involved to accommodate stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's out
Yeah.
of their control.
Like
Those
if
count 3x against those. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like if you're the only, if you're in a multi high school district, but your high school is the one that houses all the life skills or,
yeah,
intense special ed, right? Things like that. That's out of your control as a football coach. You know what I mean? Like, but you're going to now have however many kids that might be in that program. They're counting 3x the numbers, and now your enrollment's just jumped up 200 kids, 300 kids, however many kids it might be. Like, it puts you in a whole other classification. That's there's got to be a waiver or something that gets you through that.
yeah. And I mean, it was the first time they were doing it. It wasn't going to be perfect, but we'll see how it kind of evolves. But yeah, that one really I was like, why? Anyway, before I go too deep into the whole thing, but yeah.
All right, so Keith chimes in here. He says Tennessee has approved a one-time free transfer that goes into effect July 1st. It is about to be the Wild West there too. Jack, South Carolina this past year, or is it for
Yep.
this coming year, did the one free transfer?
This past year was the
How
first year having it.
how
Yeah, I mean, like you'd expect you had. I think it was actually BHP. They had a coaching change, and, I don't know the exact number, but some immediately just hopped in, went to a different school in Anderson. And it's like, and my other thing is, and maybe I just need to reread the rule book again, but does the bona fide move still count as that one for each? If like a kid's family, dad gets a job somewhere else, has to move, they relocate legitimately, like the old school way, they would have been fine. Does that also count as their one transfer, or like how does that work? And
Yeah, because you would think if okay, so elephant in the room, right? I mean, I'm gonna go live with grandma. Like parents are
right,
splitting, I'm gonna go live with grandma. That's how a kid might have used to get around the rule, right? But now if they get the one free one, they don't like it there. Now can they go play the grandma card or whatever
yeah, yeah,
card
yeah,
and
yeah.
get another transfer? Yeah, I don't know if they.
And another kind of caveat is like you have a kid who's McKinney-Ventoed, right? So they're deemed homeless,
Yeah,
and they're allowed to stay at their school for the remainder of that year. Well, then they get put into a foster family situation or wherever at a different school. They have to. I mean, what choice does that kid have?
yeah.
Does that count as a transfer for them? Should it really count as a transfer if they're in that kind of situation?
Surely they thought about that. We'll see.
Anyway,
Are
yeah,
you
we'll
sure
see how
about
that
that?
works.
Man, so how's the honeymoon? I know we talked about it a little bit. I mean, was that your first all inclusive?
That was my first all inclusive, and I think I found out I am not an all inclusive kind of guy. It's not my vibe. Yeah, no, like the buffet is fantastic. The guys bringing drinks or whatever, room service, love that. But like we walked in, man, and we couldn't even get out of the transport from the airport. They met us right there. Welcome home. Do you want this mist? Do you want this rag? And like just on top of you.
You didn't like that? You didn't feel like Kardashian or something? Like getting
And the other, it was cool. That part was fine. But it was like we had a concierge, Angelo. Shout out Angelo. He's the GOAT. But he has my phone number and he's texting me. Like, can I get you anything? I'm like, dude, just stop bothering me. Like, I appreciate it. I really do. I will let you know if I need something. And I get he's just trying to do his job, but like
right.
I felt kind of trapped by like day 3. Like I can't leave this resort. Like there's really nowhere, like I wanted to go to
Nowadays,
the casino, but it was like 40 minutes away and $120 round trip. I'm like, well, I was planning on losing 100. I don't want to spend another 100 to get out there. But it was good. The food was great. The one thing I hated was like the pool. Couldn't get a seat at the pool because people were out there like 8 a.m. putting their towels and stuff on the chairs. Like,
that is kind of messed up.
and I'm like, what are we doing? It's like cruise vibes. And I don't have anything against a cruise. I've never been on one, but like, I feel like some people lose their minds and forget how to act when they get
Yeah,
into that kind of environment.
yeah.
Same with
There's some of
airports.
that.
People don't know how to act. And that frustrates me a lot. It's like, I don't know. It was good. I enjoyed it. Great time. But I also am kind of the person that likes to plan everything and have these little, go out and visit this town or visit this thing and that kind of stuff. And there wasn't really an opportunity to do that. They tried to do everything for you, which was nice in some regards, but not nice in others. But
See,
yeah, I don't.
when we did Cancun, like I mean, I didn't have any desire to leave the resort. Like I was going to my chair. I had the room service dialed up, right? I'm gonna get my coffee at 7, and then I'm going to the beach at like 8:30. And I didn't leave the chair until I had to be somewhere. We were down there for a wedding too. So until I had to be somewhere, I'm gonna be in this chair, like eating chips and salsa. I was reading, like I was actually like,
Yeah.
vibing, and I'm there. Like I'm just chilling out. So I didn't have any desire to leave the resort, but I know you're a little more busybody than I am.
And I think part of the issue was that the beach, beautiful in the Dominican, beautiful, but apparently there's a seaweed issue some parts of the year where there's just tons of seaweed washes up on the beach and it kind of smelled. Didn't bother me, but like no one was on the beach because it was like not really, to get in the water you had to trudge through some seaweed, and there were dudes out there trying to clean it up, but like it was just so much seaweed. And so there wasn't anybody at the beach. so maybe that's why the pool was overcrowded. Whatever, but like now the people walking by you on the beach, can I get you something to drink? And they had this. I think every day I had something with blue carousel in it. It was something green secrets or blue dreams or whatever. I was just like, give me whatever the drink of the day is. And they'd bring back this blue or green drink and I'd have at it. And then I've had to get up and go back to the room and have to kind of gather myself a little bit. That part's great. Love that. But I don't know, some of it just, and maybe it was just, I don't know, man. I'm just weird like that. Maybe it was a good time though. I would go again, but maybe 3 days instead of 5.
And now you're back in the homeland. You got y'all got workouts this week, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we go back tomorrow, or they've been going, but
Right.
I'm headed back tomorrow. I think we might have a 7-on-7 and a lineman challenge this week.
Heck yeah. Separate
So-
days. Mr. DC, you gonna go to both?
Yeah. I guess that comes with the territory. I've had a little bit of a break anyway, so
Yeah, I was about to say, you've been living the high life. Everybody else has been grinding.
yeah. So I probably should go to all of it, but
Yeah.
I'm
no,
excited to
maybe
get back. I really am. I mean, part of me, I was separating myself, like tried to leave my phone in the room and just kind of relax, but there was still a part of me like, oh, I wonder if we could run this coverage and do this with it and this, kind of
It's
trickled
hard
into
to-
my mind at points. But
It's hard to break away. Like, same thing. I'm sitting there and, we got the sports U, the group me, we got the messengers like everybody has or whatever. And I'm down there, doing a beach day with my kids and stuff. And you get that notification or whatever on the watch. The watch is the worst thing sometimes. Like, I can put the
Yeah.
phone away, but I'm going to wear the watch probably. And then I'm seeing, I'm going to read it. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, we were doing a 7-on-7 at SMU that I was missing. So I'm kind of getting updates on that and stuff. Like, it really is hard to disconnect. But I mean, when you invest as much as we invest time wise, like it is a part of your life, to be that invested. And I don't know, it does make, but it was good to get back. I was able to get back in for our workouts Thursday morning. By the time we made the drive back and all that, I was able to go do that stuff. But we're still kind of in that June phase where, we use that company that runs our strength and conditioning. Shout out to Performance Course. And so we're there in June, basically making sure our guys are there. And so, we got 2 coaches at every position. So if one of us is out of town, the other guy's there keeping us updated and all that. We're hitting July where, it's full speed locked in. We're on skills training every day after strength conditioning and stuff. But I do think it's healthy in a way to, disconnect yourself, get some space away from it. Like, I think that's a good just mental, even for the kids. Like, I got no problem with a kid going on a vacation or something. I'm not going to hold that against them. Now, you're not going to be gone all summer. Like, so if you try saying you're on vacation all summer, that's,
Yeah.
I'm going to hit the BS alarm on that. But, I mean, yeah, you're going out of town for a week, buddy. I'm out of town for a week. Like, we all got stuff. Summer's busy and all that. It's good to get disconnected for a while. Just be ready to work when you get back. But it was good. It was good seeing the kids again. The guys in my position group and all that. And yeah, I feel like I'm in a good spot, ready to hit the ground running this week. We don't have any more 7-on-7 or anything like that, but those skills training days will ramp up and all that pretty soon. And yeah, then it'll be August before you know it.
I saw something. Aren't they voting or looking at changing the where y'all can't coach in 7-on-7s currently, but now they're kind of looking at changing that?
I think it got shot down. So I think one of the big things is, I guess there's multiple things that I could come up with. I think one, you would have some demands for coaches to want to get paid a little more if now the 7-on-7 is going to become part of what you do, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
when I was in South Carolina, it was just something you did, right? So it's kind of hard, but like when you're going from somewhere that you weren't necessarily allowed to do that, and now you're going to tack that on, and you already know people are going to grab it and run with it, and they're going to go full tilt into it, and it's going to be just like South Carolina where it's tournaments every weekend and stuff like that, and it's going to be a lot more time. I could see that being kind of a headache. I could see, you get some of the staff turnover and stuff that happens as the school year ends, and over the summer, people are still hiring and all that. So I could see staffs not being fully hired and fully staffed yet. And then you're trying to put on all these 7-on-7s and stuff like that. I could see that being a little bit of a headache. But yeah, he got shot down, I think. But I do remember seeing that it was it would be good because one thing I do miss is like, for your quarterbacks and all, we got guys that are still in routes on air, and like we might still do some skills against each other and stuff, and we might do an impromptu 7-on-7 with a school down the road, but you just didn't have these like giant things like they do like in South Carolina and stuff. I don't know, like we did the one at SMU, right? But we find maybe a former player that helps us out with the defense. We find a former player helps us out with the offense, or we teach the kids how to, give all the offensive guys wristbands, and we teach the quarterback this part of the field, pick from these and all this and that. I don't know. So, but we're there off to the side, trying our best not to yell. I mean, we do that too sometimes, where you're just like hollering out, this, that, and the other. But I don't know. So yeah, it got shot down, but I wouldn't put it past the realm of possibility for it to be something that gets approved at some point in the near future. But I mean, that's just my opinion. So we'll see. But yeah, that could be something that changes up. I almost forgot what I was gonna before we do drip or drown, Jack. Before we do drip or drown, hey, Jack, we got some coaches. Looks like they're connected in the chat. Timothy chimes in. He from South Florida. He says, for the comment section, anybody looking for a wing tee coach in Texas, LOL. And then Eddie chimes in that they're gun tee, double wing, but they're in Whitmire, South Carolina. Whitmire, that's down near my old stomping grounds in Clinton, where the T is sweet and the T is silent.
Yeah.
Where I went to college, right? The Whitmire, are they the Wolverines? No, Woodruff's the Wolverines. What's
Whitmire. Let's see. They're the Wolverines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they blue and yellow?
Yes.
It's pretty good about random stuff like that. All right. So we're all good on the chat. Guys, we also have our text line. I'll put that number up here on the board as well for you folks that might be wanting to send us a message. We'll make sure we get it answered. We don't always do the recordings live, although the chat's been great tonight. So it might be something, Jack, that we have to make a little more often, especially in season. We usually record on Wednesday nights for the folks that are tuning in. But yeah, our text line 469-726-9875. You can shoot us those messages or voicemails anytime. And even if we're not going live, recording an episode, you'll be able to get your question answered on the next recording that we do. But Jack, let's fire up Dripper John. We've had a lot of submissions. We got to get caught up on. I think we had like 6 or 7 new additions. Might be pushing 10.
We have a correction here. Eddie told us make sure that we call it athletic gold. Don't call it yellow. People get angry. He made that mistake before. So blue
Whitmire?
and athletic gold. So sorry, Whitmire. Let's see. Drip or drown.
While you're pulling that up, Charles, what was y'all's record last season? We went 10-30. Already forgot now. We made it into round 3. We practiced Thanksgiving. We lost our 3rd round playoff game at the Star in Frisco, the Dallas Cowboys headquarters. We played Willis High School from the Houston area. They had Jermaine Bishop, who I've been watching tear it up at Texas, the Longhorns spring football and over the summer stuff. He's one of the best players I've ever seen in person. And he took the game over. I think he played 150 snaps, offense, defense, special teams, and it came down to the wire, about pushed at the end, and maybe had a miraculous comeback. But anywho, hopefully that answered your question, Charles. All right, Jay, you got drip or drown ready? So guys that are in the chat, or folks, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, Drip or Drown is a feature we added to fourthandward.com, our official website. So we are building what we think will eventually be the largest or number 1 high school uniform database anywhere on the internet. All right. So users submit their uniforms, and then the community around the show rates it drip if it looks good, or drown if it doesn't look good. All right. Jack's the equipment guy, so he usually has a better eye than I do. But long story short, we're going to run through those with you here. So our first submission is the Eisenhower Knights from northern, Warren County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So Eisenhower Knights in Northern Warren County, Pennsylvania. So they're sitting at 40% right now. So that's the score. You know, it's one of the newer ones. So it's got what,
Sorry,
it's got
I'm
2
trying to get it.
drips and 3 drowns. If I'm seeing right, my eyes are kind of getting bad.
Yeah, 2 drips, 3 drowns. We're at 40%.
So if you're with us in the
let's
chat
see.
right now, Jack, we might can just do this a democratic way. We might could have the folks in the chat. Guys, what do we think about the Eisenhower Knights uniform? Comments say, great color combo, honors the now consolidated Youngsville High School Eagles with the wing. Cut it off there. I can't see it now.
Sorry, yeah, I don't.
No, you're good.
Hold on. Bear with me for a second. Let me do this instead. It was just the button wasn't in the frame, so maybe this will work better.
Your OCD was acting up?
Yeah, something like that.
It just says they got the wing as the tail of the
Scrimp?
Do you mean to say shrimp? Was their mascot the shrimp?
They're the Knights.
But it's a consolidated high school. So did it used to be Eagles and Shrimp and they made it one school and they're the Knights?
Maybe.
Maybe it's a typo. Maybe it's supposed to be script. Like, cause it's script Knights, right? Yeah, he's got on the helmet.
Yeah.
He meant to say script. Shrimp, that'd have been interesting.
That would have been, not many shrimp mascots out there. I'll tell you one thing I love is the Russell Athletic. People dog on it, but I love Russell Athletic. I don't know why. Well, let's see.
All right, so in the comments, we've got Richard saying it's too much yellow or gold. I mean,
wait. Oh, I know who that is. Richard, what's up, man? Too much yellow or yeah. It is a lot of yellow and gold. I'll give you that.
What would you change? Like navy pants?
I'm guessing. That's tricky. Well, we know the shoulder stripe.
I don't mind
They actually passed my test on the stripe because they have white as the center stripe, blue, and then the yellow helmet, which somewhat matches on the shoulder. You have white center, blue, and then yellow or gold. So, all right, they passed that at least. But I don't know, maybe white pants. I don't know. The yellow helmet's tough to kind of work around.
Navy helmet, navy jersey, then you could have the yellow pants. I like the logo. I do like the logo. It's a pretty clean look.
I like the logo. They did well considering they had to, work with 2. Eddie says drown.
Savage. All right, drip or drown, guys. Jack, what's your gut instinct on this one? I would probably say drip. Is it like what I would design? No, but I don't think it's below 50%. I think it's about a 60% when it's all said and done, if the voting gets it there.
I'm going binary. So anything over 50 is a drip, under 50 is a drown. So it's drip. It's over 50 for me, so I'll give it a drip. But Richard brings up a good point that the gold should be more of the secondary color. It's bright, it brings out everything. So they should really use it as like the accent instead of having it so dominant in their
Kevin
setup.
Kevin in the chat brings up a good point. Pant stripe is needed.
I'm with you there, Kevin.
They do have helmet stripe, shoulder stripe. You would assume that they would have. I know for high schools they might have a navy set of pants too, right? They might have a white set of pants. So if they start doing all these different stripes, maybe that was going to mess with the cost.
I'm changing my vote because I just saw Under Armour jersey, Russell pants. It's a drown.
You heard it here first. All right, good eye, Jack. All right, now the next one here, we got Plano Senior High School. This ain't far from me, Jack. Great color combination and is subtle. So they're wearing, it looks like they're away uniforms. They are white and garnet. So we got white helmet, white jersey, garnet pants. Is the green gloves what's throwing you off?
Who let him go out there like that? And then the ref didn't say anything about these sweatbands? They would have kicked that boy off the field so fast. The knee pads in South Carolina, the ref, he would not have made it out on the field. Maybe this is pregame, but still. Why are you
It
wearing
looks like
green?
pregame. I see some people in the background warming
In
up
the
and
loose
stuff.
shirt.
Oh, that's what the kids try to do.
Yeah,
Do
and
y'all's
that's
kids
not
try
a
to?
knock on the uniform. So I mean, that's just a kid being a high school kid.
If he didn't have the green gloves, mouthpiece, and shoes,
Trying
and
to
it
look
was
over.
just white, I would say it's probably drip. You know what I'm saying? So do we say drip or drown based off where the kid screwed up, or do
No,
we?
I don't think we hold that against the school.
All right. So you agree with me that if it was a white mouthpiece, white gloves, white shoes, it'd be drip? Because I mean, it's pretty just plain, but it's just like
drip.
a clean. Yeah.
It's definitely drip.
What are
I give
those?
it drip.
Can you see what the pride stickers are? Can't tell
Are
what
they
those are.
paws? They look like paws, like tiger paws.
Oh, okay. Do they just have
You
a
know what
plain
they're-
helmet?
Yeah, just white. I don't love the gray face mask because I'm assuming this school has enough money to get white face masks. They're like
Dude,
Texas A&M out there with those.
This school's so big, okay? So, Jack, they're one of the biggest schools in Texas, all right? This school only has grades 11 and 12. Yeah. And they're one of the biggest schools.
How does that work?
So, all right, so it's a mess for your feeder systems, okay? Because you can only imagine how many middle schools they have. And then you've got a 9th grade center. I think they have a separate 10th grade center. And then the senior high school is just 11th and 12th grade. And so from what I've gathered, because I've had some people that coached over in that area, coached against, schools that were similar. And they said, like, if you had a stud freshman or sophomore, you've got to find the way to get them bussed over for varsity practice and all. Like, it's a logistical just craziness. Yeah. But yeah, grades 11 and 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Eddie brings up a good point. The helmet logo may be on the other side. They may do one side helmet logo. Like he said, they do one logo, one pride stickers on the other. So maybe that's what's going on. It's still a drip for me.
Yeah. What's it at now? 80%?
Yeah.
I'll give that. All right. Next one here. What is that? D'Iberville? The D'Iberville Warriors.
Yeah, I think.
What state does that say this one's from?
Mississippi.
The SIP. Okay. So D'Iberville Warriors in Mississippi. He said in the comments that it's not his best drip, but what did he say? Just trying to see a little something?
Just trying to post some.
Just trying to post some.
Trying to post some.
Boy, he's sitting at 50% right now.
You need to try in English is what you need to do. They got a Florida State logo, looks like, on the helmet. Is that the Seminole looking, the spear?
It does look like, yeah, Warriors. It would make sense that they have a spear or something on there.
This is drip.
So we're not going to count it against him that he's got the jersey.
No, don't count the, no. Just the uniform. If the kid wasn't bad at English and had his jersey hiked up.
Just because it's kind of plain? I mean, a clean.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing.
What's the logo on the pants right there?
It looks like, I can't zoom in any further. I can't really tell you what that is.
Looks like they're playing at a college stadium. Is that Southern Miss? That looks like Southern Miss.
It's clean now.
I know we're Clemson fans. Florida State does have a clean looking logo with the spear on the helmet. That's a good looking. Although, do you kind of hate when people like steal it? You know what I mean? Because I feel like everybody knows you're looking at Florida State's. I know high schools do that all the time.
It's the same with like the Georgia G.
Yeah.
And Green Bay G.
Yeah, that thing gets used and abused.
So I mean, it is what it is.
I don't like the modern looking fonts.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I'm not a fan of them usually. This is one of the most, at least, subtle modern ones. It's still modern, but it's not like the one with the extra cutout on it and stuff. I forget who wears it, but it's over 50 for me, so I'm dripping it.
You got the keys on this one. You got the screen pulled up. So, all right. Well, actually, let's see what the chat says.
We're the tiebreaker here.
See if the chat's got any thoughts on this.
Chat, drip or drown.
Drip or drown, chat. Let us know.
Don't kids say that? They say chat or something, or is that like a few months ago?
What's the word, chat?
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that's
chat. Is this real?
a gamer streaming or something. All right, Richard's saying drown. I
All
say
right.
drown. You say
I'll
drip.
I'll ride with y'all.
All right. Next one here, Van Vleck. Van Vleck. That's got to be a typo.
Van Vleck HD. High definition.
Surely he meant to put HS, like high school, right?
Yeah, they are close on the keyboard.
All right, so Van Vleck, Tennessee. Okay, the Tennessee blackout look. They've got
Drown.
orange pops against the black, and then they says the unique logo.
Which orange are we talking about? They got 3 different colors going on.
Yeah, I'm starting to study this look. So they're sitting at 63% drip right now. All right, what's up with the underarm? Is that the kid's undershirt and just
That's
the
his
jerseys?
undershirt.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
mesh.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Same on that kid's. Same on the pants, I believe. That gray is
It's
maybe
like
the girdle.
That's the girdle underneath. Okay, because
Yeah.
I was about to say, why we got gray and white or gray and orange? The helmet is the best part of the helmet.
The chin strap's a different color than the sticker.
Helmet's the best part of the uniform. Sorry. The chin strap. They had to order it like that, didn't they? Because they're the flexes and it's all built in. Might should have gone black, right?
I think you go black. It's just you're trying too hard to.
Like if you got a white helmet, you go white. If you got a black helmet, you go black. Simple. Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm trying to look at this unique logo, but it looks like just a V with the tiger head.
I think that's what it is. Very unique, as he said. I can't get over the colors. Different helmet sticker color than the jersey color, but I know it's hard to color match. If I'm outvoted on that, I'm okay with it. But
Eddie's saying drown, Richard's saying drip.
What are you saying then?
I'm saying drown. What are you saying?
I'm saying drown. I said it immediately.
So
is it drowning?
Is it 3-1?
Yeah, drown.
Right, drown. Jamestown, the Red Raiders from Jamestown, New York. They're at 89% right now. Okay, I already know what you're going to say. The helmet stripe matches the pant stripe, but it doesn't match the jersey stripes. Did I hit the nail on the head?
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
But 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I like these. If they just fix the shoulders, how would you fix that?
Yeah, that's tricky.
Would you just take out the...
It's hard whenever you use 2 colors on a helmet stripe to coordinate that with all your other uniforms. Because, if you have both your colors on a white helmet, okay, well then your red jersey or your white jersey, one of those is not going to match if you have the same stripe, because you can't. I mean, it is what it is.
I say drip.
I don't hate them, though. I don't hate them.
Yeah, I kind of like these. I say drip. Chat, how we feeling about these?
Is that gray or green?
Richard says drown. It's gray, ain't it? I mean, that's basically y'all's colors, right? No, that's green.
Wow. I give him some credit. It's hard to work with green.
I thought that was great, dude. My eyes are so bad. Oh, my gosh.
Drip just because they managed to do Christmas colors and it looked decent.
I say drip. I mean, 89%.
That's hard to do.
This might be our last new one. All right, the Randolph Cardinals in another New York team, Jack. Randolph, New York. They're sitting at 60% right now. There's a lot to unpack here.
No, there ain't. There's one word.
It's drown, obviously.
It's a drown, dude. This is what a 5-year-old would make on the team builder NCAA thing.
It has It has probably all my least favorite elements that a jersey can have. Okay. The 2 color socks, right? The high, the low, kind of like the NFL style, right? The
Mhm.
NFL guys at least got wise where they just wear the colored leggings and then just pull the
Yeah.
socks up. These are like straight two-tone socks. I hope there's a great story with it. I hate these stripes on the pants that go in front of the thigh pad. And I hate stripes on jerseys that go along the chest of the jersey. I mean, that's just, and then I don't even know what's happening with the helmet stripe. Have you looked at the helmet stripe yet?
Yeah. That was the first thing I saw, that
What is that?
gradient,
What's that
modern
supposed to be?
looking. I don't even know what that is.
They've got modern numbers.
I
What
like the
percent?
pride sticker.
What's the pride sticker?
The little R, like script looking R.
For Randolph? Okay.
They're
I
at
love pride stickers.
60%. All right, you ready for
They're
me
at
to unpack
60?
this? Not for long, because we're about to drown them. But first of all,
Go in.
I know it's hard with metallic, if you're going metallic helmet stickers, but the reds don't match the jersey.
What do you mean by
All
that?
right.
Like the chrome kind of look?
Yeah, you got the chromish. Those look like metallic stickers, like a Louisville alternate from back in the day. And it's
Yes,
hard to
yeah.
match shades. I get that, but still, that's like maroon, and your jerseys are red. Stripe on the helmet is god awful. Logo's okay if that looks like that's their logo. I don't know why. I guess they did the helmet where it's mirrored, so it's always facing forward. That's fine. The red doesn't match the jersey. The jersey is a travesty. There's also black on the jersey, no black on the helmet, except for the default right L things, and that's not enough. The stripe on the pants is abysmal. Sorry, Randolph. I'm not really trying to bash. I'm just being honest. Socks are especially heinous. They belong on Law and Order SVU. And that's about it. But it's a drown. It's a drown. Can we not? We can't end on that one, please.
I don't think we got any more. Unless somebody drops some on the.
Did we already do this? We already did that.
We
I
did
just
that
forgot
one
how good it looked.
a couple weeks ago. That's a clean look. There are good ones on the database, y'all. If y'all just use fourthandward.com, the number 4 THANDWARD.com. I saw a great question here from Eddie before we wrap up Drip or Drown. All right. He says, as Clemson fans, do you appreciate uniforms that have no letters on the front? I know some old school Clemson guys that like uniforms without letters and letters at all. I think I am biased because I do like. I loved when Dabo came in and said, when people see orange, white, they know they're playing Clemson. Right? When they see that tiger paw, that's all you got to know that you're playing Clemson. So I think that is some of that coming. But I also just think I think sometimes less is more. Like, I think just you don't have to do too much.
Yeah.
But some of the, Oregon's got some cool ones. So, I can't say I hate everything. TCU's with the little, diamonds on the collars that they used to have. I thought that was sick.
Execution is everything. It doesn't matter. If it's not coordinated, you didn't think it through, it's going to look rough. The name on the front, I don't really have a preference as long as it's executed well. I will say I was at Clemson when they transitioned from what I consider like I'm blanking on his name, Charlie Whitehurst era Clemson jersey.
With the stripes that kind of came along the sides.
And then they revamped to the traditional look from like the 80s with the paw on the shoulder. I was there during that whole change. And I remember DJ Gordon actually and Abe at Clemson, the equipment guys were I remember that whole process was very, talk about detailed. They had all these mock-ups from Nike, samples, and it was a very lengthy process for what you would consider a simple uniform. But I don't really care about the name, if it does or doesn't, as long as it's executed well. That's the main thing for me. It can't be sloppy.
Yeah, on past episodes I've talked about, I hate script. I don't mind if there's a name on the chest, but just give it like a clean kind of look, right? Like Jack said, execution is everything. So if you go modern, but you got a whole modern kind of look, there's a chance it could look good when it all's said and done. I just think sometimes we get all those curved lines in the modern kind of stuff. Sometimes it's too much. And then the scripts, sometimes it's just not on a high school uniform. I feel like the script's not always done well.
No.
Yeah.
And it was just like a trendy thing, and now it's like, okay, well, it's 3 years from now, 3 years from that, and you're still wearing them. It's kind of like, it's not the best look. But I think they made a rule. Somebody made a rule about that where they're not allowing that anymore. It has to be, you can't have a nickname or something. It has to be a team name specifically. It can't be like DeVille or whatever. It has to be whatever DeVille town you're in, Greenville, whatever. I can't remember where I read that, but yeah, no, I don't have a preference. It doesn't really matter as long as it's executed well.
Execution is everything. Speaking of execution, guys, we are getting close to the end of the stream. We always wrap up every episode of Fourth and Ward with our team of the week. Okay, so these are teams that are nominated by our listeners, and they get put on the big spinny wheel that's on our website at fourthandward.com, link in the show notes. And then every week we spin the wheel, and Jack and I learn a little bit more about whatever the school is. Because our whole goal when we started this whole deal was we didn't want INGs or Duncanvilles or Allens, these schools that everybody in the country knows about. We wanted it from all, I want the Whitmire Wolverines on there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Just because we want to go and learn about football from all over. And Jack, we've had teams from, Maine, Wyoming, California, all over. And it wasn't until probably Matter Day a couple weeks ago that we had our first big name that was like,
yeah, Valdosta's kind of up there, but not,
yeah. But I wouldn't say they're like nationally.
And they were put on the wheel. Somebody put them on there, and they have just as much of a chance as everybody else. But
speaking of Matter Day, so I put up a video when we were looking at Matter Day as our team of the week about 3 weeks ago, whenever that was. And remember we were trying to figure out the helmets that they have?
Yeah.
And like what that design is called. Okay. That was the whole thing we talked about for a few minutes. So somebody commented on that, and I don't look at comments too often. One, because it just takes a while to get through them all, but somebody was like, "How would y'all start a podcast and you don't even know the material and knowing whether these are simply the Michigan wing or no? What do you say? Delaware wears these same exact helmets." And I'm sitting there like, Delaware's got the Michigan winged helmets, whereas Matter Day, it was just like 3 stripes. That's all it was. It was like the Michigan helmet if you took away the wings. And so...
and didn't we look up what college it was? Wasn't it like one of the Ivies?
I thought Dartmouth had that same one, and I was way off base. Dartmouth has like 2 coming down with, the Dartmouth D right there in the center front. But anyway, normally I don't clap back. I wouldn't say I clap back, but I educated that Delaware has the same exact as Michigan, and neither of them look just like Matter Days. But anyway, dang, my camera's messing up, so we're trying to wrap this thing up. There we go. So anyway, we spin the wheel every week, and we find a new high school to learn about. It is brought to you by the Gridiron Spice Company. Use the code 4th and Ward, the number 4, THANDWARD at gridironspicecode.com, so you can tackle your taste buds with the best seasonings in the game. Use our code to get 10% off. Orders $48 or more, get free shipping, so you can get all the seasonings at Gridiron Spice Code, all 5 blends for $55. Okay, you can take 10% off that. It comes out to 50 even. Ships for free. They're big old jars, and $10 a jar. Like, it'll last you a good while, unless you're doing some heavy grilling this summer. Which Jack just got a Blackstone, so he might be needing a resupply. But Jack, let's see who our team of the week is this week before we wrap this thing up.
This is 64, right?
This is 64.
All right, here we go. Got a long one. Oh, who's that? Fox Creek.
Fox Creek. Is that South Carolina?
That is North Augusta, South Carolina.
North Augusta, South Carolina. Fox Creek. They're like the Predators.
Yeah, let me get
Predator. I'm trying to think of. I feel like I've seen these guys before.
All right. That mascot.
I'm getting deja vu. Have we done them before?
Have we? Let's take a look. Un momento, por favor.
We might have. Did we do them before we introduced the Team of the Week wheel?
Maybe.
I'm getting.
I don't see him on the list.
Maybe it was before we did the wheel. So do we give them I don't know, maybe
Let me look
or
at
maybe
the-
we were doing an episode about mascot names. And then the Predators was one. Like unique mascot names. That might be it.
all the ones we've done are on the updated list. They're not on there.
Okay.
So we have
I'm
not.
just
We've
losing my
talked
mind.
about them before. I recognize the.
I was about to say,
I
I
know what
remember that
you're saying.
logo. I can't
I know
remember
what
the
you're saying.
context. Maybe it was
Let's check it out.
Let's see how they did last year. So Fox Creek, the Predators, North Augusta, South Carolina, 5-6 last year. Are they 1A or 2A? Because they played Dixie.
3A.
Well, they
That's
beat
tough.
Dixie in the opener.
Beat the Hornets. Beat the out of Glen Hills. Whoever
Beat up
that
on
is.
McCormick too now. Wish I could get my camera to focus. Wilson Elko, I actually know a guy that used to coach there. Newberry. Okay, so they got into region play, and
They scheduled appropriately.
their non-region was appropriate. Is that where all their wins came from? Was non-region?
Yes.
All right, now I'll give them
They
this.
started off 5-0 now.
I'll give them this, okay?
They play in kind of a gauntlet. I mean,
Newberry usually's got some athletes. Silver Bluff, usually pretty daggum good. Always got athletes. And then they make the playoffs, and they got to play Dillon, who is traditionally, I can remember them winning state, back in the day. So that is a gauntlet when it gets to region play. Swansea.
Yeah. I feel like Newberry went pretty far. Yeah, they went very far in the playoffs.
Dude, Newberry, that's who knocked us out my senior year.
Yeah,
Remember
I remember that.
Dude,
Yeah.
they had a D tackle that they put at running back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got a concussion taking his thigh to my face one time. But all right, so the Predators here, all right, started off 5-0. Let's check out their uniforms or stadium, one of the two, whatever you're about to pull up. Looks like a new one. They got Jordan. No, it's Adidas. Couple different pants options, though, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm confused here. That looks like an older one. 2024. The logo, I don't think I've ever really seen a vertical, straight up vertical interlocking.
That's interesting. Usually if it's interlocking, it's like there's some stagger, right?
Okay, hold on. Richard in the chat is providing some context here. Fox Creek, he says expansion team from North Augusta High. So it looks like North Augusta and Strom Thurmond were oversized, overpopulated, whatever. So they added a school.
Now, I remember North Augusta, when I was coaching at BHP, North Augusta, we played them in the playoffs, and they had some talent that year. And Strom Thurmond, historically, I think, has got some talent. But maybe, if they're a newer school in the area, maybe they're just not having some of that talent come out their way.
Yeah, the uniforms look pretty.
He says they're a solid, big, growing school. So, yeah, maybe as that growth kind of comes in, maybe it'll kind of turn some. Of course, then they might jump up to 4A.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out if these are the most recent uniforms or if these are the most recent. Because this looks like the newer cut of Adidas, and that looks like the older cut. And the white. Well, I like these better.
They kept the vertical logo no matter what, though.
Yeah, I think they might just be stuck with that.
Man, I wonder why. Just put that Predator Just put that
Well, they
Predator.
offset it a little bit. It looks like the C is
Okay.
more to the left.
That's usually like opposite of, I feel like it's usually the first
Yeah.
one and then it goes to the right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But they have the C as part of the F, so they kind of,
Okay, all right. I see what
they're
they're
kind of
doing.
blending that in. All right, anyway.
Let them cook.
Well, if it's a newer school, I mean, their stadium's got to be kind of nice, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't use the little Fox or
Yeah,
the
use a little
Predator
Fox. That's a nice little stadium, though.
turf.
Turfed up.
Definitely, they got like a jumbotron. It looks like. Are they renovating it, or is that when
Well,
it was
he's
being built?
in the chat. They said it was a newer school, so maybe this was when they were building the whole deal. Perhaps.
What is this thing?
There.
Cell tower. Definitely got good service there.
Yeah, service is good. You might could put a camera up at the top of that thing and
Yeah, there's your end zone, your overhead view.
get some good film.
Who needs a
right.
drone?
Fox Creek, the Predators.
But yeah, here's the new school plan.
Pretty cool little campus layout. Football field's
right.
kind of off doing its own thing.
Yeah, so they got a athletic facility that is as as big as the school. It looks like phase one of the school.
We ain't here to play school.
And so it is nice that their athletic facility looks like it's connected to the practice field and, close to the,
I was say NCAA baseball.
I guess it's just regulation, slow pitch, fast pitch. What is going on in Fox Creek?
Do they have a complex? Like maybe the community gets to use that area?
Yeah, it's got Little League, so probably. Yeah. But, I mean, it's an interesting plot of land. I wonder what they're planning here in this triangle.
I guess if they're growing like Richard says, maybe they have to add on to the school somehow. A little freshman building or something. I don't know. All right. Well, Fox Creek, episode 64, team of the week. A brand new team out of the Augusta area, North Augusta area in South Carolina. We had a lot of South Carolina homers in the chat tonight, so appreciate you guys tuning in. We might have to go live more often.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome being able to get some feedback from you guys.
And if you see the hats we're wearing and you want one for yourself, also, fourthandward.com, just click the merch tab, and we have a shirt, a hat. There's going to be some more stuff coming up soon. Grab you one. Trying to think what else I was going to say about that. There'll be some new stuff coming up there soon. What else? I think that's about it. There will be a promo code. I don't know if it's live right now, so I'll hold that off till next time. But there will be a promo code to get a little bit of discount on your first order. But check it out, get some gear, represent, and yeah. You got anything else?
If you're still listening to the podcast, hit 5 stars, hit share, all that good stuff. Helps out on the algorithm. But we might have to go live more often because it was a good time. But appreciate it, y'all. We're going to shut it down. Jack, you going to send us off?
Stay golden.
Bye, guys.
You locked in now with the fourth and wall. Fourth and wall. Adam, Jay, Texas, Carolina, we out.